Hey folks, how's it hanging? Welcome to the stream. This is a place for you to chillax, unwind, grab yourself a model, pick up a cat, cuddle, and just have a relaxing time. Just painting little guys and taking care of stuff. Finishing up projects, that sort of jam. Um, you know, I watched the results of the last stream, and I know, like, in the middle of the stream, I noticed, connection issues, buffering, and all that. And it turns out I had all of my settings for, like, when I streamed on Twitch, which, like, I guess were a lot different. So I looked up how to improve the connection and all sorts of stuff. And hopefully this time it'll turn out a little bit better. Less buffering, less interruptions. Not only that, I took a look at the model in a different light, and yeah, that face is jacked. Few other things that we plan on fixing before moving forward, but hopefully by the end of this stream, we'll have a finished Psylocke. So let's just go ahead and take a look at her. So, like, I actually really liked the front of the model, how it turned out. But then when I look at the back, I'm like, oof. Like, this butt is not blended well. The forearms I didn't really glaze. The calves are not blended well. But those aren't really things that I'm gonna fix up. This is not something that's gonna, keep me up at night. What is this butterface? And I was like, I remember I was struggling with it while I was painting her. And, at first, or for the most part, there's like a mold line in the middle of her face that was causing difficulty. But I couldn't quite picture or put my finger on why it's bothering me so much. And I think it's because of the harsh contrast on her cheekbones as well as near the nose area. So, after thinking about it for a while, I was like, how am I going to fix this? I'll probably try to glaze some of the darker color in these areas here to soften up the face a bit and just decrease the contrast that's on her face. So we're going to fix up the face. The other thing I noticed too is I'm not a really big fan of this sash, like, because I kind of ran through it really quickly. So I'm going to fix up the sash, but then from that point on, we're going to move forward to finishing up the sword and the glow, and then the basing, which I have no real idea what I'm going to do with it yet. So you're going to watch some new stuff. I have some ideas. It's going to be a lot of things I hadn't tried before, but, that's part of what painting is just trying new things and seeing what works. So, with that in mind, I've got my palette. Now, I got the skin tones here for fixing up. I've got some glaze medium for trying to glaze over the darker tones. And then I've got some colors ready for the sword. And once I get through those, I'll just have to do, like, the hilt. And then we'll be on to the base, and that's where a lot of guesswork's going to happen. So, let's get to it with... Let me get some of this flesh tone here, some glaze medium. And we'll have one that's heavier on the glaze and one that's lighter on the glaze. Oh, you know what? Let me put some jams on. Funny thing is, right before the stream, for some reason, my account that I usually have a playlist on is no bueno. So I had to download a bunch of random music from Epidemic Sound that's lo-fi, and we'll see if it works. How this goes. Ooh, let me move this light a little bit. That way I can paint. Take some of this with the like a lot of glazed medium in it. We're gonna try to fix this up. Oof. Wipe a little bit of that off. The other thing I noticed too was I was painting out a frame a lot because I didn't set this up for comfort. So hopefully this time it goes a little bit better. I can already tell it's a lot better. I'm gonna actually paint on some straight up dark flesh tone, the golden skin shadow. This way softens up those cheeks. I'm pretty sure this is why she was looking real crazy, because I mentioned, you know, the more lines you add, the more you age the subject, and because I had the contrast on so heavy, it was really aging her. So we're just gonna fix that up a bit. Okay, and instead of washing, we're gonna go right into the next tone, so it doesn't have such a strong contrast. You know, I always forget this too because, you know, sometimes some models are really soft and you don't want to have that contrast of the wash, but some models have pretty good detail in that face that you do want it. So you just kind of have to adjust your approach depending on the model. See, and I know that with this random music, it's got some disco in it. I'm gonna go to a discotheque. I think that works a little bit better. There's that mold line. Some crazy music. Okay. Oh. The other thing I was watching on YouTube earlier was stuff about YouTube's compression and like setting up the like how you should render your files and export it at a higher quality, because YouTube has some crazy compression that, you know, I didn't really notice in my long form videos, but I noticed on the stream. It's like, yeah, it lowers the quality. So hopefully the settings I changed will really improve that. Now we're on the highlight, by the way. This is what Epidemic Sound considers lo-fi music, ladies and gentlemen. This is not what the lo-fi girl is thinking. This is more like it. Okay, with that mold line, it's going to be a little difficult, but it's already looking a lot better, I think, than what it was before. You know, sometimes you got to step away from your model and take a look at it later to really recognize what the issues are. And even though I'm painting her lips as one right now, I plan on glazing in to darken it. So let's get some of that really light glaze, the one with a lot of medium in it. And see how this works. See, I was thinking about it over the weekend of how to work around this mold line. And I was like, well, if I just paint it up really light and then I glaze around it, we should capture the lip portions. And then the mold line can work for itself. But I don't know, she's starting to look like she has no lips, like a horror movie, right? So let's... Man, I hope this doesn't turn into all over again, you know? Just going back and forth on this face. But we'll see. Now I'm going with the shadow color that has less glaze in it. To darken it up even more. And I can see it's kind of acting like a wash, which helps me out a little bit. And well, I guess it's I guess YouTube is gonna disconnect me anyways. You know, you try. I heard streams are tough. I didn't realize how difficult they were. But you know, I want to do something for people whenever I'm taking a long time on my videos, which I am right now. I just started. I just did more editing today, and I'm almost done with my main cuts. I just gotta cut it down for time, and then record some other things, and then it'll be ready. But I figured I should be working on things that fill in that time in between videos. Because I can't be as prolific as some other folks. Like the big time YouTubers probably have teams, or they've been doing it for a while. But others do different formats that are a lot easier to do a bunch of videos on, and maybe I need to brainstorm on how to be more prolific. But in the meantime, this was something I told myself I would do at the beginning of the year, when you make all those resolutions and whatnot, that I would be more prolific in this manner, giving more things to watch. So I decided to do streaming. Me and my buddy Mike decided to do that podcast. We're going to try to keep that up consistently so that, folks will have something to watch in between those long-form videos I like to make. Because that's what I really like to do, is make those videos. But they're a lot of work, They're time-consuming is what I'm trying to say. And I think I already like the face a lot more. I think I like this side more. So I'm gonna mess it up. Oof. I mean, she gets a little overexposed in the camera, but in person she looks a lot different. But yeah, she does look like she doesn't have too much definition in her lips. So let's try something here. Let's try a little blue, this magenta. Get a little water. Too much water. Made this mix right here. Now I'm gonna put it in some water and hope for the best. Nope. Again with the disco epidemic. I do not know why Epidemic Sound thinks that this is lo-fi, but it certainly doesn't feel lo-fi. Now that's looking a lot better. This is sort of a glaze of magenta and blue to make a nice little purple, and I'm trying to only do the bottom lip. Because that's something I read before, that if you're going to paint a lip, try to only paint the bottom lip, because then otherwise it looks like a clown. And she's looking a lot better, I think. Who knows? What you think? I think that's much better than where we ended last time. And probably gonna stop messing with it. Yeah, okay, so then what did I say? We were gonna fix that. Oh, there's some other notice here. I painted on her skin. So I'm gonna go ahead and fix that really quick. highlight. Sometimes you don't notice that you made some mistakes until the light of day, you know? That's enough for fixes. Now we can move on to the meat and potatoes, which is this katana. Oh, you know what? We should probably paint the scabbard, or not scabbard, the hilt first, because I'm gonna make it glow and stuff. So we're gonna just knock out a really quick, easy. I was originally gonna do it as a non-metallic metal, but I think I'm just gonna simplify it because the OSL is gonna cover up a good portion of it. So let's see. We're gonna take some anthracite gray here, which is like a dark blue gray. Now this is something I like to do for like a black or gray. What the heck? Gotta pop this open. Sometimes these bottles, because you have to pop the hole through them, like just to get them going, they will clog up, and I keep a little dental tool, clear it up. It's probably still going to take some pushing. Alright, let me clean that off. Stick myself with a dental tool, and hopefully this paint will come out. There we go. So it's sort of a blue-gray, like a dark blue-gray. And this is something I do for quick, like, impressions of black. Is use a blue-gray. And then I will just edge highlight. Well, I guess not so much edge right there. Just highlight. I'm painting a lot of it's gray, but it's still gonna kind of look like it's black. I'm just roughly doing it because I don't want to spend too much time on it. So now, got the dark blue gray. I'm gonna take a light blue gray. This right here, Arctic blue. Now, in the old GW line, I think this would be considered Shadow Gray and Space Wolf Gray, but they renamed everything, and I don't know what all the names are. I think it's like the Fang or something for the dark blue gray. This one also has to get picked, and I really don't remember all the names. What is with this music, man? This is not lo-fi epidemic. Their playlist is weird. I feel like I'm on a desert retreat or in Vegas. I don't know. Okay. This music's getting me. Just hear disembodied voices moaning. Sounds like a good Tuesday night. I hope they fix my, I have an account on OwnPro that I usually use my playlist with, and I picked all those songs, but and they certainly don't have. They have a lack of disembodied moans, but I hope it gets fixed up or something. I didn't have the time to look through it and or like pick out songs that I like and don't distract me like this. I like painting to lo-fi, and I like editing to lo-fi music. There's like something, I'm pretty sure there's like evidence of it being like helpful in productivity or something like that. It's just I find I'll drift and get in the zone for work a lot more with lo-fi. I'm sure that a lot of people realize that, not just me. It's probably why the lo-fi girl is so well known. Okay, so now I'm edge highlighting with the light blue gray, and I did a lot of it with the dark blue gray, earlier, but this time I'm only going to do small dots. This music is super distracting. And I'm actually going to reserve the highlights for only the top portions. That way, it looks like, or it gives the impression of black, or at least dark gray, for everything. And that's the hilt. And we are gonna, we're gonna change this music. Jeez. Thank you. Goodness. That was crazy. All right. So, where are we at now? I believe, if I look at the model, we wanted to fix up the red sash. And I'll need to do that because I think I'm going to have some pink glow on the red sash. So, what I didn't like about it was I didn't have... A lot of it was the dark red, and very little of it was the light red. And then I went straight up into the highlight color. I wasn't really thinking about it at the time, but we're going to fix that up. We're going to make this mostly bright red. Now we got sexy time music. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to paint you. Creepy. Alright. Add a little water to it. And let's get to it. Paint this red sash a little bit better. I'm going to paint over the highlights I made it before. The other thing too is I think I'm gonna have a lighter jump up in the highlight. Not use the lightest skin tone to highlight with. Maybe the mid-tone. I might actually glaze with the dark red in a bit. See how it goes. Yeah, I think I will. Yeah, I wanted this red to jump out a little bit more than it was previously. We can leave this part dark, and then we'll go right into... tell you right now, this painting position is a lot more comfortable than it was last time. Learn something new every day. Whiskey. Not too bad, not too bad. Whew. Okay. And then we've got the belly part of the sash. You know what? I may not glaze, because I don't want to spend too much time on this. I think the base is going to take me a while. So... paint over what we did before. I missed a lot of areas too last time, so I'm glad I'm going over it. I think it jumps a lot more. I wonder if anybody paints while they watch paint streams, and if so, what are they painting? I've watched a few, and seems like the only thing I want to do is watch them. Learn stuff, you know? Observe how other people paint. Because I think, especially, like, since painting is mostly solitary activity, it always surprises me seeing other people's habits, you know? I think that is all the red. Let's add some flesh tones to that. Let's go to the mid-tone. Add this mid-tone here. Throw it in some red. Get some more. That's enough. I want it to be a little more subtle than I did last time. Add a drop of water. Last time I went straight up to the highlight tone and it was like bling. Alright. Let me throw this here. Let's get our sexy brush. Start going to town. Much better. Much better. At least I think so. See, this is the kind I want to paint too, this kind of music. Near the layer of that. Yeah. I might add a little more flesh tone to this, just to make it jump up a little more. And missed a spot over here, so let me get that. It'll be interesting after streaming to see, rewatch the video and see, did I actually fix anything or did I make it worse? Why does her face look like a clown to me now? We're not looking at it. Let me try something. She looks like a clown now. Why? You look away from it for 2 seconds and then she changes her face. I know she did. You're doing this to me on purpose, girl. Let's just say this is not my face. Somebody else painted it. You're gonna have to prove it. Okay, let's add one more highlight flesh tone to that red we had earlier. And then just put some dots or some scratches or little tiny accents in the middle of our previous highlight. Just make it jump up a little more. Give it that extra bump in contrast for just a tiny little area. Not as happy with that, but it's a board game piece, you know? Last area here. All right, we fixed the red. What other fixes do we have? We're not looking at the face. All I'm doing is looking at the face. I think that's it for now. So, let's move on to the katana. Let's take some of this magenta and some of this white. More of this white. And add some water to it. Still buffering. One day I'll figure it out. Figure out how to make a smooth stream for you guys. Okay, got some pink in there. I'm gonna use a bigger brush for this. Alrighty. The bristles on this brush are what experts call jacked. That's fine. We're just using it for coverage right now. Now this is gonna be awkward. Ew. Yeah, that is awkward AF. Usually you do see mold lines on swords in these kinds of pieces, and there is one that they put on the back area, which is not the worst place to put it. Now, I'm basically going to be painting this in successive colors of white added to this magenta until it's super, super bright. I might have messed up there. Let that dry really quick, and I want to fix it because even though it's not super important, it's good to have this cleanly painted as a guide for the other areas that I'm going to do. So let me fix that up really quick. Okie dokie. And let's get back to the light pink. I messed it up a little bit, but that's fine. Okay, now that I've gotten most of the area painted, we're going to take the sexy brush, the thinner brush, that's actually got good bristles. Somewhat. And we're going to finally adjust these. I'm looking to get it as thin of a line as I possibly can. This seemed a lot easier in my mind than trying to do one perfect magenta, dark magenta line in there. Just shape the pink up to the edges. Darn it. We're not looking for perfect. I'm just gonna tell myself that. Okay. Sorry if this is a little awkward to see. But it's all awkward. Okay. That should be good enough for that. Now we're going to take that same mix, add even more white to it. So I'm going to add a bunch of white. In fact, I might just use this pile of white right here. There we go. This will be a sphere that's slightly darker. Let's add a little water to it. Now we're just going to use the thin brush for the entirety of this. Is that turning out right? Commit. Now for this back part, I'm not going to actually paint this color for the entirety of it. Just a little bit. Again, this is awkward. Oh god. That was very weird. Alright, so last bit, we're gonna add a little more white to our palette. And we're going to take some of that last pink we used and mix for a mostly white. Add a little water. Take some of this pink. Like a pastel Easter pink. In this one, we're going to only go up a slight amount. I'm going to do an irregular pattern. Kind of like, if you ever see the Katana blades, how they have like a wavy pattern on their edge. That's what I'm going for. Who knows if that's actually what's happening. I'm gonna go partly up. And this is the awkward way. I don't know if it's quite selling object source lighting. Let's go up one more level of white. It's mostly white. Pretty much white is what I would say. See how this looks. Yeah, I think that works. Let's wipe that off. Alright, and we got this little bit here. This little bit here. I'm kind of going for like a white hot glow in the middle. The awkward hold. I don't know if the wavy pattern is working the way I thought it would, but commit. I don't think I need that there. Okay, so I've got the foundation. I think I'm gonna actually throw in a little more white to really get the glow going in a smaller area. Okay, so now that we've got the foundation, we're gonna glaze over all this stuff. I'm gonna get some glaze medium here. Throw it off to the side here. gonna get plenty of it on the palette. I'm gonna take some of the darker pinks and I'm gonna glaze over it. So let's take some of this pink, a little bit of glaze medium. Yeah, that's good enough. And I'm going to use my small brush again and see how this works in a test application. And I'm going to do it on this side here. I'm just trying to figure out, will this blend everything? And do I need to apply it everywhere on each layer? Let's see what that does. Kind of works. Kind of darkens the white a bit much. So what we're going to do is now test it out on this side. We're going to actually glaze over everything, the dark and the light. So that way we get all those layers before. Now we're dampening them down a bit. And we're controlling where it's coming from, like the glow itself. Is it working? Who knows? One more on the edge. Now let's make the back of this match. And then this side. I know we lost a little bit of the glow, but we're going to work on it a little more with some lighter glazes. Okay, now that we've done the sort of darker glaze, we're going to do a sort of lighter glaze. Basically going over the parts that we just darkened. If we want to bring it back up, we'll see how this works. Just going back and forth. Find out how much of a waste of time did we do. I think I'm gonna try and make it go down to here. Now, I should have gotten... I'll get a little more glaze medium. Just get a little of the dark magenta. See what that does. Just basically trying to figure out how do I make a glowy katana. I will admit, like, I hadn't tried this before. Without, like, an airbrush, you know? I think this actually works really well. Again with the discotheque. We're skipping you, buddy. I think actually the darker glaze is going to really help out with selling the glow. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is build it up toward the edges and the bottom and the top. Build them all up. Yeah, that's, I think I like that a lot better. So let's do that on these. I'll probably even take it darker now. Does that work? You know what we're also going to do is let's try to turn this purple into a glaze. One that we used for the lips. Again, this is not lo-fi epidemic sound. This is straight up discotheque. Alright, let's see. Now that we got this purple glaze. Oh. Got this purple glaze going. Let's see how this looks. I'm going to throw it on to a part that I don't care about. I think it'll work. With very limited use, it could work. Use some water to blend that a little bit better. I think it was a little thick. All right. I think that's enough messing around with this glowy sword. Just take a look at it from afar. I should have brought up my Psylocke references. Because there are a few references I looked online for that had her katana glowing pink. But I think that's it for now. I think the model herself is done. Now we're going to do some glow. So since we already have our glaze mixes, we're going to use them. I've got my magenta here. Let's throw this on there and see how dark it gets. The first place I'll probably test out on is her forearm here. In fact, actually, I think I'm going to switch over to just painting magenta really quick and see what that looks like. Just basically laying down some foundation for blending with OSL in a minute. Let's throw on some magenta on the hair. This is basically just going to act like it's a reflection of the sword, light, on the surrounding areas. So, what I've discovered for myself that works really well is just painting it on opaque first to ensure that you're capturing what you need to capture from the direction that it's coming from. And that it's strong enough to give that impression, right? So right here you see it's working out. Like, I actually really like it already that it's capturing what it needs to, and I actually need more magenta. But I think it's I'm happy with it so far, with what it's doing. Just need to make sure that I'm evenly capturing the light that it would catch. Let me add a little more water to this. Okay, so if it's capturing there, we need to make sure that the light goes all the way here. Okay, so I think it's radiating out here enough. Need to radiate out to the other forearm a little bit better. Alright, so I think I captured most of the places. Now I gotta get the calves. And this is gonna be a very light capture. And eventually I'm gonna have to paint the the rocks, I think, with this magenta. Alright, I think I've got all the opaque. Well, you know what? The other leg should catch some light too. Like very, very faintly. Let's go right to there. Yeah, that should work. So like from here, you don't really see too much of the captured light other than from off of her leg. But when you go to the back side, you'll see a lot of that rim lighting, so to speak. So Now we use the glaze that we had for that magenta and spread it out. I might need to make it a little stronger. Add a little more of the regular paint to it. See how it works. I might need to use a smaller brush. That might have been a little too hectic. This might be a subtle take, like a transition. Should've. Yeah, I wish I didn't use such a big brush on this one. I'm gonna have to widen the area. I went a little too zealous with that magenta. Okay, and then we got this hilt. Then we got the calves. This isn't the cleanest job I've done, but it's a job. It's a paint job. Nothing wrong with that. You know what'll probably help with the butt part? Butt part. Is going up one more step in the glow. Because I threw on such a big patch, like, and then it sort of created a it like pulled in and it made a really dark layer with I forget the term everybody uses with like washes or stain, and it made it hard to blend in. So I'm just gonna actually glaze in or throw in one higher step. First, we'll start with the opaque paint. And I'll try to keep it really small. Let me add some water to this. Now that might be a little too bright, but we're gonna glaze it down with the regular magenta once it dries. Now, I'm liking it. It's not bad. Front looks good. The glow looks cool. It's good practice. Let me just put it that way. Like, I hadn't done something like this in a while. Well, by brush, hardly ever, if at all. So there was a lot about, like, making the sword glow. I'm just guessing at. If this was just like a stick or a lightsaber, it'd be one thing, because then you can just make the gradient equal going from the hilt being brightest. But because it's a katana and you want to sort of give the shape of the katana, it's like, well, there's two sections that light up. It's like the back of the blade and the sharp of the blade. So this was like the best I could think of to try to get that shape still going. Okay, so then we're going to take the dark magenta and glaze on. Then we're gonna get the regular magenta. Add a little bit more to it. See if that gets the perimeter going a little softer. Maybe not just the perimeter, maybe the whole thing. There. We're just gonna call that, right? Like, I went too crazy on the butt. But everything else, if you look at it from a specific angle, looks alright. So, with that, let's take a look at our reference sheet. Let's do the little sentinel finger. Now, it's a sort of blue. It's actually a blue that matches, sort of, the clothes that we already painted. I don't want to make her match the sentinel finger, so I'm actually going to probably go with a different blue. Like, I thought about it, I was like, well, does it have to be blue? But I think all the reference photos I saw were either blue or black for the most part, or magenta, and I don't want to take away from her magenta glow. So, let's try to go with a different blue. Let's see, are these? Let's go with it. Let's try it. This is gonna be Caspian blue. Yeah, that's a pretty cool blue. I don't think I've ever... No, I've used it once. Right here. And against the palette. It's a nice little cool balance. So, I think that'll work. Let's get to it. You know, this is like the quickest I've ever painted. Usually, right now, I'd be like, alright, gotta take a break. Let's play a game of League. Like finding any excuse not to actually finish something. A little thinner. Waste not, lot not. Let's just throw a lot of this paint on. Yeah, I think that blue will work. Let's spread this around. Another reason why it's probably good for me to start with the Sentinel finger is because I don't have to be as careful painting around outside of where Psylocke meets, but on the ground I can paint it everywhere and not care, because when I paint the rocks, I'm actually going to want a little spillage from painting the rocks over onto the Sentinel finger, so that it looks like it's actually in the ground and not the other way around. It wouldn't make sense that the paint comes off onto rocks, so to speak. Oh, you know what? I should move this so that it focuses better. There we go. Like, payment, like, the order in which you do your layers, pretty sure every painter figures it out relatively quickly, how much of an impact it can have. I mean, but that's just me making assumptions, who knows. I know it's not some secret, but, usually a good way to go is from the inside out. Whatever your innermost, part of the model is. I'm actually gonna let that dry. And normally I'd move on and add something else, but I think I don't want to touch the ground until this finger is done. Now that I'm looking at it, what color should I shade this? Do I have... No. Yeah. We're gonna shade it with Nightshade, which is like a blue, dark blue shade. I think that'll help darken it a little bit. I know I'm gonna have to do another layer. I think it's dry enough now. We can do another layer. It's like a nice blue-green. Not quite turquoise. I guess that's why it's called Caspian blue, like the Caspian Sea. Not like I would know. I don't really understand color stuff, if you want to believe it or not. I just kind of look at it and then think, that looks cool. My buddy Mike, who was on the podcast, he and I go back and forth about this all the time. Because he was, I guess, classically trained, architecture or something like that, on color theory, like in terms of like schooling. And me, I paint like Pocahontas, paint with the color of the wind. I just do. I just look at it, chase the car, and do. Now, nothing wrong with either way, but me, I don't like to like learn the science of anything. I just like to compare. I like to throw it on and then see what happens. Sorry, buffering is occurring, so I just wanted to make sure that everything's alright. I think once this dries, put on this Drakenhof Nightshade. Boy, I really like that color. It's pretty much matching the matte. I did that on purpose, you know? Alright, I think it should be mostly dry. Oh no, this back layer is not dry. So, wonder, hey, you know, now I'm looking at that butt again. I'm like, ugh. It's fine. Everything's fine. We're not going for perfect. We're going for good enough. His face, is it good enough? She's got a great personality. But from like, the other thing too is we're looking at it from like really close up, and as painters, we'll sometimes forget we're looking at it like right here, when most of the time it's gonna be arm's length at most. So you don't have to make everything perfect. It's just enjoyable for me to try to do it as best as I can. But I have to work at not getting upset when it's not going the way I want it to. Like, it's okay. It's a board game piece. Like, if you really put it into perspective, it's a board game piece. If you're not enjoying it every time, then what are we doing here? Like when you paint for completion and it's feeling like a job. Like, we should try to, you know, enjoy as much as we can the process. Alright, are we dry enough yet? Do I have to keep vamping? Almost there. I can see it a little bit. But, you know, I also come from the point of having painted for a long time. Oh, thanks! Curse55, thanks. I appreciate that. This time I noticed when the chat came up. Oh man, I appreciate it a lot. Yeah, I don't know if you were in the first one or had seen it, but yeah, I just started doing the glow today, and now I'm gonna do the rest of the terrain. Like, I did the pink sword, and I fixed up a couple things, but I'm hoping that I get the base done today, and that'll mean I have enough to play, or almost enough to play a single player painted game. Because I first started with Captain America, one of my favorites. I have a Lego Captain America shield up there, and then painted up his buddy Bucky, and I'm working on Hawkeye. Like, this one I'm just doing, it's like I'm not striking inspiration right now, so I just put him aside. But pretty soon I'm gonna have the Black and Blue squad ready to play a game of Marvel Zombicide. I mean, I've played it, but I like playing fully painted, or at least painted up. So yeah, I'm gonna do this glow stuff a lot more in the future. Like, the Marvel Zombicide Kickstarter, Big Child Creative is the studio that painted it, and they do a lot of this trick of rim lighting and object source lighting, and this is one of the first models I tried it out, like where it's a little bit more exaggerated. So I'm gonna play around with it more. I'm gonna find other excuses to rim light. Like, I wonder, in this, she doesn't have a lot of rim lighting, so I might not do it here, but maybe throw some teal off on the side, hitting her so that it lights up too, like it's a light that's coming off stage. But I'm being a little ambitious. Let's go ahead and now we're fully dried up, vamped enough. Let's get some of this Drakenhof Nightshade. We're gonna do a heavy wash, and I mean heavy. Not really. Not really that heavy, just enough. Nope, let's go heavier. Too heavy. I might water this down a bit. Oh no. Also, I might just dry brush this to get it done. maybe not care so much about getting nice smooth blends. I don't know. Maybe throw in a little water. Yeah, that's looking a little bit better. Yep. I'm glad I watered that down. It's kind of a cool effect. I think this will actually lend to dry brushing a little bit better. I usually honestly hate dry brushing. I hate it with a passion. But it's a tool, and sometimes it's one that you should use. Now this is going to take a little bit to dry, so while this is drying, let's mind game. What the heck is this color? Or at least, what should I try to do for it? Now, I don't always copy what's on the source. Like, in this case, I wanted to try, and it looks like a little brown and gray. So, as a plan, I'll probably try to mix this gray that brown or this brown. One of these. It's probably what I'll end up doing. And just play around and see how that works. This is part of what I said at the beginning of, like, I'm trying a whole bunch of stuff I haven't tried before. Usually I try to, in every paint job, do one or two things that I haven't done before. Sometimes it's successful, other times it ain't. But you don't land on, like, doing it right the first time, almost any time. It takes a lot of trial and error, so without the error, there is no learning. So I always kind of tell people when they want to improve on their painting, like, assess where you are and then reach for one step above that. Like, one half step or one full step of, like, something that's just out of your reach, and keep working on that until you figured it out. And then next thing you know, your assessment again is going to go one step higher, and now you just go for that one thing ahead. So right now with this is like object source lighting, like something I've done with airbrush but not by brush, and black blue, which is something I've only ever really done once before. But yeah, like always try to go for something, just because it looks like we're all the culmination of the things we've learned in succession or on top of each other. So if you don't continuously try new things, then you just kind of get stagnant. So always go for something that's right above your level. Like, don't be going like, hey, I just picked up a paintbrush for the first time in my life, try object source lighting. It's like, that's well above your level. Like, try to be honest with where you're at. I know you can get there eventually, but it's just not right now. You're just gonna go for dry brushing or like smooth blends in general, layering. Like, I always tell people the first thing to start with is like a solid foundation of base coats. Like, if you just painted everything in base coats and it was just solid and opaque, you should have a good looking model. And it'll also teach you about color theory, like, and it really is the foundation, because all you got to do is take up the colors a notch or two or down a notch or two. Suddenly you got shading and highlights. But if you don't have a good assessment of your base coats, then it doesn't matter about your highlights. And thanks, Zimtor. Looking sharp. Man, I knew I was looking sharp. Oh, the model. I get it. I see. But, yeah, like, you just want to, I think that the base coats are so simple that people kind of blaze past that step. And they just want to go straight into like doing fancier stuff or like improving the steps above it, when they should just be working on the base coats. And it's like martial artists in movies where they make you do some mundane task over and over again, wax on, wax off. Once you master it, you'll actually realize like, oh, this is the secret sauce. Like, it is the basics. It's the foundation. So everything else is built on that. But if you skip past it, then you're going to create a glass ceiling for yourself along the way. Man. You know, I'm looking at her more and more on the... and I'm liking it. I just wish something else was glowing in front of her. Everything's just going to glow. I'm just going to add like 12 lightsabers. All right, I think it's almost dry. I really want to work on it, but on the other end of this, I'm kind of liking what happened to the finger. Like, it's looking kind of cool. Let me see that other color I was gonna highlight it with. Man, I don't know. I kind of like where it's at, like what it looks like. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I dry brush over this, or can I leave it alone? The finger, the sentinel thingy, bobber. Well, it's still drying. I can still decide on it. Because you don't want to be making any decisions while it's still drying. But I can wick this because it doesn't need to be all that piled up. That would take forever to dry. I'm honestly partial to just leaving it alone. I might actually, now that I look at it, I might use some pigments. How's the progress on the Monster Mash? Not sure about the Jane, but it's the build making stuff that you... Yeah! Oh, okay, so you might... Don't tell Mike this. Give me 1 second. So we're not supposed to tell each other about updates, so you'll be the first to see. I found the perfect model that I'm gonna kit bash. So, I don't know if you ever heard of Relic Knights. It was a game that's like anime, and it used a card system like Malifaux. I got a bunch of models for cheap. Oh, the name. Oh, not sure about the name. I think it's called Bot Bash. Like, he brought me onto it from Bill Making Stuff, and we rolled up a bunch, and I found a model from Relic Knights that's perfect, and I'm gonna bit bash this bad boy. His arm broke off, and he was actually a spare. I have the same exact model, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut him up. His hand is gonna go like this. I'm gonna add some joints to the fingers, a few other things, but yeah, he's gonna be standing straight up. I'm gonna model on the hair, some sunglasses, a bunch of things, a bunch of ideas. I started writing it down almost immediately. And yeah, he's gonna have a big middle finger coming up here. I might give him a comb weapon. And yeah, I'm gonna cut his leg up so that he's standing up straight. His chin is like pointing up like this. And then he's gonna be standing on a barrel. His arm's gonna be like this. I got a whole set of plans. Man, like that idea of rolling up a random bot, that's exactly the kind of juice I needed to get my creativeness going. Like, oh, I'm excited to do it. And we gave ourselves a long deadline to do it, but I'm really gonna try to get it done by the end of March, so at least I can post it on like Instagram with the hashtag that they use or whatever. But if not, you know, we're only gonna show each other the final product at the end of April. But that was so much fun. We did like a dry run exercise on that, and it just gets you like really creative. It's just a lot of work, right, to do conversions and kit bashes and scratch builds and whatnot. But can't tell you the last time since like the days of Warhammer. Are you gonna magnetize the different layouts? No, I think I like to make like a final product. You know, I don't really know anything about the game or the rules, but if it's anything like you know, like Stargrave or whatever, it's about the modeling itself, not so much about like WYSIWYG or whatever. So I just want to make a really cool character, and then we'll make it work for the game however it needs to be. But I was gonna oh, you were gonna do a bash? Man, you know, you can just do the one that we rolled up, and then like, you know, let us know your progress, post it on Instagram and tag me, and then we can take a look at it. You know, there's nothing wrong with everybody else joining in. And actually, that'd be really cool if like everybody else who got the results that we did, like they either try to do the same bot or they roll up their own and you know, join the bot bash. But like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to, it's just fun. You know, it's super fun to make your own characters. And in fact, like I have a whole backstory for this guy, which sounds like a nerd, right? Like we all, like our RPG characters or whatever, we all have our backstories. But this guy, because like as soon as we rolled looking cool, I was instantly like, he said it out loud, but I thought as well, Johnny Bravo. And so I'm like, oh, this guy, I got a name for him, and it's gonna be like a whole backstory, but it's all gonna feed into like the look that I'm gonna have for him, because like I've wanted to paint this model for a while, but I haven't had an excuse to. But like, I'm gonna add a lot of spikes, and like his hair, I'm gonna green stuff or think of some way to do it. I'm gonna put in those finger joints, and he's gonna have a big middle finger, and his name is gonna be like Johnny Too Sexy, and he's gonna have a stamp on, you know, like how they put like numbers identifying the unit. It's gonna say like 2SX-C. And man, I either want him to have a comb weapon, like, and then he's gonna have a front viewing mirror instead of a rear viewing mirror, so that he's always checking if he's on point, like his hair's good, stuff like that, man. I love creating this, and it just makes me think of like the old days of when I played Warhammer. Like you know, the kits, they were built to like for you to convert and kit bash, and I don't know if they do it so much anymore, but like those are some of the most fun modeling times, is like making up your own stuff with the modular kit. And you know, playing Malifaux and all these, there's not so much freedom in that. Like they're one build kits, like they build one pose, and I miss that, you know. So but in Malifaux, you use the models allotted to you. Like you can convert if you want, but the models are already cool enough, so I don't convert. But this kind of stuff gives me an excuse to like exercise my modeling chops. Cool, man. Got me chomping at the bit. You got me talking. I guess it's champing at the bit. I don't know, but looks like it's dry. I think I might just leave that alone. I kind of like the color on it. Like, I don't know if I should dry brush it or not, because I like how the staining goes to the corners, and you know, normally they pull away, but I like how it went. Oh, thanks so much. Zimtar here says, you know, my painting videos are really well executed and the editing's great. I hire a clone to do all of that work. I just take the credit. No, I appreciate it, man. Like, it's something I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. Like, imagine a little kid in his room with 2 VCRs, a camcorder, and a talk boy. If you even know what that is. But like, I was making videos in like 3rd or 4th grade using VCRs and tapes and cutting up film and just doing crazy stuff. And like, even as a kid in like school projects, I would try to do videos all the time. And then in high school, I was in the TV club, or the what is it? TV studio. I forget what we called it, but like it was for video, and I was in it for 3 years. and it was like one of my favorite things ever to do. Went to college, got a degree in mass communications for broadcast production, and then I ended up not doing anything with it for like 20 years. Like no videos, no nothing. So like this has been, oh no worries. This has been something that I have always wanted to do since I was a kid, and I just never worked up the courage or the gumption, I guess, to get up and do it. And yeah, when I first made that first video, it was just like being a kid all over again, doing what I love. Like, love doing this stuff. So, you know, I'm glad that you guys get to enjoy it, because it really is my passion. Like, I love painting miniatures, been doing that since I was a kid, and I love making videos and sharing it with people, you know? Like, anyways, got me gushing. Let's go ahead, and now that this dry, I think I'm gonna leave the finger alone. I'm not gonna paint any different. I kind of liked where it went. We're gonna try to guess how we're gonna paint this rock here. I'm gonna try with gray and mixing in some different browns and see. And then I'll also plan on like, I'll probably end up throwing in some glazes of different colors, like maybe some greens, olives, maybe some dark reds. See where it goes, where it takes us. So let's get some of this gray out there. This is rainy gray. It's one of my workhorse. Malifaux community's on my side. Oh, you're gonna make me tear up. Yeah, man, been playing Malifaux for a while. It's my favorite game ever. My favorite tabletop game. But we got some rainy gray. Let's see what this heavy brown does. But rainy gray, this neutral gray here, it's a workhorse for me. I use it all the time. All the time. It's really good for non-metallic metal, because I like the scale color range, scale 75 or whatever. It is some of my favorite paints next to like Reaper, but I only have a couple colors from Reaper. And let's see what this looks like. We're gonna throw on some chocolate brown. Don't eat it. And it's funny, we're gonna be working in browns because I hate working with brown. It is my least favorite, least understood color. So let's see what this looks like. Where are you? There you are. Let's take some gray, throw it in here. Let's take some khaki, brownish. See what that looks like. Throw a little more gray in there. Okay, I can see where that's going. I see what you're jiving up here. Now, that's an interesting... That kind of looks like the dark-ish mid-tone of this. So let's see what happens when we throw it in chocolate. Similar. Let's throw more in here. I think that's a interesting color. Let's throw a little more in there. Let's throw some gray. Just trying to make enough for my batches. And we're gonna do a little craziness. Now, I don't know if it's considered wet blending. I don't really ever wet blend. But I think I'm going to use this set of palette color thingies and just go to town and see what happens. Wish me luck. We're gonna paint with the color of the wind. Move this out of the way so that it focuses better. Oh, I got it on her shoe. That's fine. Everything's fine. This is a new thing for me. This is too hectic compared to what I usually do. But that's fine. This is so messy. But it's what we kind of need to do for a natural look, I guess. It's what I tell myself at night. While we're here, let's throw in some grays. This is flying by the seat of my pants right here. I am not usually like this. But I wanted to try something new that I hadn't done before. Pigments will do heavy lifting, huh? Yeah. The dry pigments are probably something I'm going to throw in here. Well, I haven't thrown this color in here yet. Ooh, I like that. I need to throw that in other places. It's kind of freeing if you think about it. Like, I never have done this, or at least not to this extent. But usually browns and like rocky sort of things, if it's not like straight up ruins or like easy buildings material, it throws me off usually. Like I would take forever to do this stuff. Like the Captain American one. Oh yeah. The Captain America base that I did, I tried a different like thing where I did all of this sort of and washed it. And turned out pretty uniform. Not a fan, but you know, you gotta kind of commit to see if it'll work. And it ended up being mid, in my opinion. Alright, this is gonna be awkward. Okay, lady. Alright, so now it's looking okay, right? Like it's a little more brown than the gray, but what I'm gonna do now is throw in some of that gray. Let me thin it down. Feel a little bit like an artiste, you know, just like just painting all over the place. Now we're gonna go straight up gray in some areas and streak it down. See what that does. Sort of like a highlight, but I want it to be in a jagged, scratchy way. Think of like an overbrush, maybe. And it'll also be really good while it's wet to like be stronger on the gray side than the brown. But still, while it's wet, it should wet blend enough where it doesn't look so uniform. While still tying everything together as gray. Gray-brown. Let's see here. I think I'm liking it. It's starting to look closer to the gray color, and it's not quite a dry brush, but it's also acting sort of like one. Oof, that was a little strong. And then start to go to those downward strokes here. Boy, I'm gonna paint my natural rock like this more often, because that was way easier and not overthinky. That looks... If I do say so myself, that was surprising. I think there's gonna be two things that'll bring this even nicer. Some washes, like as a glaze. I might not even have to use pigments. I was planning on doing dry pigments, but I like how it's going. Sometimes my genius, it startles, you know. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. It's so interesting to paint in front of people now. Like, live streaming is sort of a mind-blowing thing to me, since, like, as a kid, we couldn't really imagine stuff like this. Like, you can, but it's a, like I said before, painting is a sort of solitary thing. Like, the learning experience, you can be guided by others, but really it's just you, a brush, your model, or whatever in front of you. So it's really interesting for other people to, like, see your process. Like, I observe others in their videos or their live streams, and, like, you're kind of getting a glimpse into their brain a little bit. Mine is a jungle gym full of crazy, but, like, it's just insane, because as a kid, when I had to learn this, I just had a White Dwarf magazine, and, like, that's it. And I went to the library and tried to figure out how to paint with books. But it was a lot of trial and error, and it's kind of crazy nowadays how you can just find painting videos in your pocket, like, whenever you want, and you just keep searching around for the newest trends. And, like, when I was a kid, you would see, like, White Dwarf magazines, and it was, like, the craziest stuff you never even knew existed. Now it's, like, basic. Like, because once the internet started circulating other people's paint jobs, the levels just got higher and higher, because everyone was learning from each other. Or, like, they would just see something else done and do it from their mind's eye. Like, what got me doing this was seeing Big Child Creative paint Zombicide stuff and how they did rim lighting in Zombicide 2nd Edition. And, like, I just thought I should try to do that, you know? And if I never saw that from the internet, I would have never tried it out, because I never knew it would have existed. And, like, these days, you can find all kinds of stuff. It also makes you feel terrible, you know, like, seeing other people online who paint way better than you. Like, it's just like, what am I doing here? But it's about the journey, man. Like, one day, we'll all be there, right? If we keep it up. We'll all be super awesome. Just one paint stroke at a time. I'm vamping, of course, to let this thing dry. It's almost there, but I think I'm gonna glaze on some earth shades and some black into the crevices. Before my kids were born, I would paint together with them, just shit talking while the movie playing in the background. That reminds me of like so when I was a kid and got into Warhammer, it was pretty much by myself. I didn't really know anybody who got into it. But then when I met some folks in college, and they taught me some painting, we would have so many nights where we would just all be together around the dining room table with, like, shit everywhere and just painting, you know, like, just all night for, like, a tournament so that we would have everything fully painted. And it was, yeah, like, it was just some of the best experiences. you know, and like everybody, not your kids, but with your friends. Yeah, yeah. But eventually, right? Your kids, hoping that they get into this kind of stuff. Like, otherwise it's like, no, I'm into heavy metal, Dad. No, but if they could paint, that'd be cool too. You can share knowledge down the line. But some of those nights were like some of my most favorite experiences, being delirious, painting all night to make sure everything was like looking good before a tournament and fully painted. And like me, I would be painting all night, every night for weeks, because I would always try to enter in to get like best painted. Like that was always my goal, was to be good enough to get an award for painting. So like I would be painting crazy amount of time, like every minute I had free. Paint with your kids, yes! Paint with your kids. Give them like, if you could get a 3D printer, I don't have one, but I have access to one. But like you can get like teddy bears printed, or like, hey, Malifaux lovers, Puppet Wars, the old board game. Oh yeah, and then like you can just, or you know what Mike does? He would get his younger son, I think, and say like, ask him what colors you want me to paint, and just paint whatever the kid says, you know, and then like try to make it work as best as possible. The others two, no problem. They should be painting, you know, eating little baby carrots, or like carrot porridge, whatever it is. I don't know. I don't have kids, but they can paint. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. If they can finger paint onto the model, see right here, totally in scale, you know. Almost dry, guys. Almost done vamping. Let me pop this bubble really quick, though. Ooh. Yeah, you want to make sure this is fully dry before you start throwing in some washes. 3D printing stuff. I wish I could do 3D printing. I can barely work a regular printer. Like, the streaming stuff is actually not too hard, but like, the second there's a problem, I would be stumped, and that'd be a wasted 3D printer in my hands. But if I could get it, if I could understand it, it would be a factory in here. Oh, Puppet Wars Lucius as your master. I used the Puppet Wars horse. Which one is it? It's not War, is it? I forget which one's on. Not War, but what are they called? The Riders. And I used that one for a while. I used the Seamus model for a little bit, and then I used the Convict Gunslinger as a Death Marshal. Or no, there is a Death Marshal. I used that. But like, I love that game, the Puppet Wars game. It's such a unique and like it's a time capsule to sort of what first edition Malifaux was like. Like I got into it right when second edition came out, but I remember reading the first edition book, and the folks I met, they all played first edition. So it was crazy, like crazy game. Hooded Rider, right? Yeah. I always think of them as like War, Famine, like they're sort of like that, but for a little bit I was playing Leviticus 2. And I was playing 3 of the writers, I think. It was probably better if I played 2 of the writers. But I was just having fun. I wanted to have all 4, but that was a little bit much. But the Dead Rider and the Hooded Rider, I think, were the 2 I really liked. And like, the Dead Rider is amazing. Like, incredible. It has insane charge vectors. Plus the model's cool. So I got into it. I was using the, they have the like Puppet Wars versions of them, all 4 of them in a pack. I used those as my horsemen for a while because I think like they were out of stock of like everything but the Hooded Rider. Like I still need to get a Dead Rider and a Pale Rider. I already have a Mechanical Rider. So I was using those 4, but it was also cheaper. I think it was only like $30 or $40 for like the pack. So it was a much cheaper thing. So I used those, played Levy 2, and then by the time I got the Hooded Rider, I stopped wanting to play Levy 2. Like as soon as I was getting, I think I had almost all 4 horsemen. I was like, I don't want to play Levy 2 anymore. I don't like it as much. And honestly, I hate painting horses. But then I started playing Hoffman, Hoffman 2, and I painted the alternate, which is Galehalt, is what he's called. And then I discovered I actually liked painting that horse. Usually horses throw me for a loop, but it's probably because of all the browns and stuff. Which, speaking of, who's my favorite master? Alright. So I have a poster of Leviticus. Back in 2nd edition, he was sort of my favorite. But my all-time favorite is 2nd edition Victoria's. Because in 2nd edition, like, I just loved... They hit like a truck, man. So back then they had different power levels. Like they were much... Like everybody had a like crazier power. And they'd be able to hit... I don't know if you played 2nd edition. But whenever I would hit, they'd have like a 23-inch charge threat range. And then they would have minimum damage 5. Don't hassle the Hoffman. Minimum damage 5. They had an upgrade called Mark of Shazul, which ignored, you name it. Armor, incorporeal, hard to wound, hard to kill. It ignored like 5 different things. So minimum damage 5, hard, like ignored all your defenses, and the whirlwind trigger wasn't like how the whirlwind trigger is now. It would hit everybody in melee range. As long as you had a mask, everyone in a 2-inch range got hit with the Mark of Shazul. So they all were taking minimum damage 5. And that was my favorite play, was like, alright, you're right there, I charge you, and now everything's dead. Like the first time I ever got to pull that off, like I think I killed Kojo, Marcus, Miranda, and the snake thingy all in one go. Like from one charge from Victoria of Blood. And that was like, alright, absolute favorite. And then I mained them like pretty much exclusively for almost all of 2nd edition. When I switched to Leviticus, I liked him a lot for his lore and the way he played. He plays relatively similar to how he plays now. But Victoria's, like that Victoria bomb was one of the best things ever. And I also did it where when she died, Killjoy would pop out because she was really squishy, Victoria of Blood. You can't really do that anymore, like the Victoria bomb. The Vic bomb was insane. It's gone now. It's absolutely gone. They are not nearly as good as they used to be. Oh, it's so sad. I always joke, make Vics great again. Like, they used to be so good. Like, Vics 2 are relatively good. Like, they kind of behave in that fashion. They, like, do a lot of damage, go in, go out. But 2nd edition Vics, you can't stop them. They were ridiculous. The only other one was Lilith. Yeah, and my buddy Dreads, he played Lilith. And for us, it was a dance. But in a Lilith versus Vix matchup, I think Lilith won every time. Because she had Tangled Vines. Balls deep. Yeah, You're Never Born? Candy Pandora. Pandy Candy. So good. Oh yeah, hers didn't require line of sight. It was stupid. It was hard to outrun her. Now she's like Nikima, or Nikima is like old Lilith a little bit. But yeah, my current, in 3rd edition, my favorite master is Terra. Like, I pretty much only exclusively played Terra for probably 3 years. And so I made that video where I showed how to make the space bases, but like that crew, I played almost without any changes for several years because Terra was really, really flexible, and like the game plan didn't really change. I didn't really need to care about the meta so much back then. She was able to pull off almost any scheme and score points while Nothing Beast and Talos would just wreck shop. This dude was known as Terra. Yeah, like, what's up, buddy? Like, yeah, I used to play Terra quite a bit. And then GG, I think it was like 2 or 3. Maybe 3. It changed up, like, how the game was being played so much that I kind of lost sight of how to play Terra. And then I switched it up. I played Tiri. I played a whole bunch of... That's when I played Levy 2. And now I'm on Lord Galehart or Hoffman 2 from Arcanists, because Joss, man, Joss is a beast. Like min damage 4, I think, irreducible. Like, bye. And plus the models are sweet. Like, honestly, a lot of what my quote-unquote favorites come from are, do I like the models? Like, the models are the first thing I care about, and if they play really well, then that's like they're getting up the list as one of my favorites. Because I don't like boring ones. Like Parker, I used to play Parker a lot, and even though he's kind of mid, I would do pretty well with him. But his crew's kind of boring looking. Like the Wakal Raiders are like cool, I guess, but nothing's like Nothing Beast, where he's just giant and looming over you, or like Hoffman. Like even the original Hoffman, Candy is the best, plus #1 versatile in Neverborn. You know what's actually to me one of the best versatiles in Neverborn? Silurids. I hate those things like so much, so very much. Silurids are the worst because they're just like stealth, bye, leap, bye. Who does that henchman hardcore with Joss? No, let me tell you, the only tournament I ever beat this guy that like runs really good stuff, it was in a henchman hardcore in 2nd edition. I played Nyx. It was in 2nd edition, so it was a lot different, but Nyx as the henchman hardcore, and back then he was out. They were all outcasts, and you didn't have keywords, so it was like Nyx, Hannah, his old name was Injun Joe, but now it's what is his name? He comes back from the dead. He's got a top hat. He's a cool looking character. 5 points outcast. Somebody's got to know it. But basically, Nyx by himself in the middle of the board and a hardcore henchman, he would just never die. And I gave him Survivalist, which was an old upgrade where you got hard to kill. So you had a guy who, if you failed duels, he heals 1. That's Nyx's passive. And then he had Survivalist, so no matter what, he would go down to 1. No, not Ramos. The guy, he's an outcast. He has a hatchet. He's Native American. He has a top hat. He's 5 points. He comes back on turn 5. Big Jake! Yeah. So, like, back in 2nd edition, I did that with Big Jake so that he would come back, and then, like, Nyx would just never die. Like, that was one of your ways of scoring, was killing the henchman. And he's like, I have Survivalist or Hard to Wound with automatic heals. It was a good setup. But, like, I haven't played hardcore henchman in this edition. Nyx rolls face with Incorporeal and Price of Failure. Yeah, man, I really like. I want to play Hamlin again. Christian knows, but I want to play Hamlin again because I have the cat crew, and I'm a huge cat lover. So, it just makes sense, you know. But 1, it's a lot of cats to paint, a lot. 2, I'm really bad with summoner crews. I'm bad with time. So, like, I haven't really worked up the courage to do it. I like small elite crews because then I can paint them really well and not worry so much about time and just kill face. That's what I like to do. All right. Now that everything's dry and I can stop vamping, let's start doing the same sort of wet blending, but with the washes. And let's throw a little water in that. Actually, let's go ahead and get some glaze menu. Ninja, time, summons, bad time. Yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Like, I'm really bad with time. Although, like, with the Hoffman crew, I've been great on time because it is a flowchart to, like, play that crew. It is absolutely easy because you're like, what's in front of me? How do I want to kill it? Do I want to kill it with a dragon? Do I want to kill it with Hoffman? Do I want to kill it with Joss? Or do I want to shoot it with arrows? Like, super easy to figure out. It's not like Terra where I was like, well, you know, the activation order, I gotta figure it out. No. It doesn't matter because there's no, like, if you activate within 6 inches of the aura, then no, I don't need to worry about that. Dang it, I mixed in some pink and blue into that. What is with this discotheque music? Alright, and then let me get this black wash. Throw it in here. Alright, buddy. You have a good night, Zim. Thanks for the chat. It makes it a lot more interesting to watch this show. Yeah, it's like, what was it? Last week I did the first one. There was only a few chats. And I'm like, this is tough to be interesting without people engaging. Enjoy the paint, bro. I'm gonna play with my addiction. Oh, I know what you're doing. I'll catch you on later. This guy's addicted to League. I wouldn't know anything about that. Just gonna throw on these washes. Sort of in the same vein as what we did the paints with. With tones, I'm using oh, the blues. Okay, so which blue? The blue on her clothes or the blue on the sentinel finger? Because the blue on her clothes, I can show you in a minute. I just gotta work with this stuff while it's wet. So the blue on her clothes is a mix. Well, it's the main highlight color is called Sky Blue from Scale Color, Scale 75 or whatever they're called. I get confused. Let me wipe this with water. I'll show you in a minute. Make sure that's glazing down. Psylocke's clothing. Okay, so yeah, that's the blue I'm talking about. It's mostly sky blue. I think the equivalent, if you paint with Vallejo, would be electric blue. It's a nice shocking, a nice hot, not neon, but like a nice bright blue. Like, I call it shocking in my head because it's just, it sticks out. So I painted that in the first stream, if you want to go back and see how it gets painted. But yeah, that one is a mix between that blue as the mid-tone, so to speak, or I guess the highlight. And then, oh, dude, there, you picked up a bunch of Scale 75. I'm jealous. I usually only get a couple at a time when I go to a shop about an hour away. But they are matte. I love them. They're super matte. They're really good for glazes because you can water them down to a dirty water and you'll still get that tone. But man, I'm jealous of you now. So this is the Scale 75 color I get, sky blue. So I started with painting the sky blue highlights, and then I took a glaze and a sort of solid blue of this night blue, but mostly once that was done on the two tones, I would glaze in black so that it's a blue black, you know? That's yeah, that's how I did those blues. Like, I did it once a long time ago with a board game called The Others. So I love matte finish on my stuff, and I love their consistency. I love it. It is really cool, like their consistency. The one thing I hate, you gotta poke the hole in the little nozzle. Like, I've broken a lot of the tips by doing that, and then they get dried up if you don't poke it right and consistently all the way through. So like that's the only thing but I get why they do that, is keep the freshness of the bottle or whatever of the paint. But that's the only thing I don't like about it. Some of them are inconsistent in, like, I only got one that was inconsistent. It was this. Like, this boreal green, it seems to separate. Like, it's like oil. Currently painting Winter Soldier and Crossbones for MCP, since they have a similar overall tone. Funny you should mention Winter Soldier. This one, I wish I could redo the arm, but I'm just gonna live with it. This was my attempt at chrome non-metallic metal, and it ended up just being non-metallic metal. But I figured out a few things since painting this guy. I think when I paint like somebody like Colossus or Cable, I'm gonna try steel, chrome, non-metallic metal, and I learned a lot from painting him. But like, Winter Soldier's got some really cool aesthetic. Hobby knife, slice the top off and add an agitator. Oh! Never thought of that. See, I have an agitator. Oh, you're talking about the ball. I need to try that. I never thought about just slicing off the top, but I feel like that's going to be a big hole. But hey, I might try it out, because this anthracite gray, which is a color I use all the time, it constantly gets gunked up. At the start of the stream, I had to ungunk it with a little dental tool, you know. They both look phenomenal. Thank you. I don't know why I did that. It's so weird. And I showed this one earlier too, but this one's Cap, my favorite guy. Well, one of my favorites. My favorites are actually X-Men, so that's why I'm painting Psylocke and their cute little pink butt. Almost dry with these guys. Well, actually, not almost. It's just starting to dry. I think I'm gonna probably edge highlight a little bit with some gray. I'm gonna pull some of this up. It's a little too thick. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna use dry pigments on this. I think I kind of like where it's going already. I'm just going to do some sort of edge highlights, you know, some textures. Oh, I'm surprised. I thought this was going to look really crazy to me. Yeah, I thought this was going to take a giant long session for me to paint this, but started doing non-metallic metal when I started painting my MCP, so still learning, but love how they look varnished with ultra matte. Yeah, like I just learned the trick of because I used to always spray my matte varnish with an airbrush, and it's kind of a hassle, right? And it also frosts your model if you're not careful. And then somebody in my gaming group mentioned that he just brushes it on, and I'm like, wait, you can just brush that on? So I water it down a little bit, brushed it on. I'm like, what have I been doing all my life? You know, like, it's genius. Who'd have thought? But it works really well from just a bottle in a little water. So I've been doing that lately. Like, I used to, like, with what is it? My bottle of Flesh Wash, like, it's super, super glossy. No matter what I do. Super glossy when I throw it on. But whenever I paint my Reaper paints over it, those are super matte. And I don't want to risk frosting my model, so I just live with the little glossy lines that come up in between the skin. So now that I know that you can just brush on the matte varnish, everything's peachy, you know, because I love a super ultra matte finish. In fact, probably, depending on how this model turns out, I probably will brush on some matte varnish whenever I'm done. But the scale 75 colors or scale colors, they are so matte when you're done with them. In fact, I'm noticing now while this is drying that I could use a little glazing in her buttocks. Because it's a really obvious line here. It's always going to be obvious, so what? It's a board game piece. Let's not get crazy. I wonder what the intersection of board gamers, like miniature board gamers, and miniature tabletop gamers are. Because I always assume that it's a Venn diagram, like a pretty heavy one. It's a good way to avoid potential frosting. I do spray mine through the airbrush, but I add a mix of thinner and flow improver. Yeah, when I don't put enough thinner, or if I have something wrong with my airbrush and it thickens up a little bit on the tip, it will frost. Like, it doesn't take much. So it when you add a lot of thinner, like airbrush thinner, it works out really well. Knock on wood. Yeah, like I figured out how to tune it so I don't get too much frosting, but it's still a risk. It's like one I don't like to take. So if it's a paint job, plus it also like knocks back your color a little bit, like from an airbrush. So I try to avoid it if I can, like spraying from it, unless I'm like really worried about it, or if it's really, really shiny, like when I work with dry pigments and then I put on pigment fixer. But now that I know I can just brush it on, I don't ever have to worry about it. Like, it works perfectly. I haven't seen frosting ever from brush on, because I don't think that's how it would work. So I think it's like the air science. Air, what is that called when they, not molecularization, atomization, I think is what it's called, of varnish, is what causes the frosting, but when you're brushing it on, it's probably not doing so. And no worries about saying, fake science, stuff like that on the internet. No one's gonna prove me wrong. Speaking of Boreal Green, lovely tone, use it on Mysterio's suit. Oh, dude! That is actually pretty close. Yeah, mine, like, it's the only one that's caused me problems. It's like, it ends up glossy, like it's separated, like the pigment's separated. Yeah, more control with brushing it on, for sure. For sure. You know what's the newest one I got from them? Atomization, yeah, that's what I was talking about. So the newest one I got was Sherwood Green. I got it because I don't have a lot of different green tones. Like, I have the jewel green tones, but nothing like this green. And I'm excited to use it. It is a pretty cool color. It's like, sort of like a green gold, which is like, pretty good color to have. But yeah, like, what's the other one I got from them? This is one I use a lot, Deep Red. Use it a ton. I waver between these two for my magentas, like Fuchsia and Warlord Purple, depending on my needs. This one leans more toward of a red. This one's more toward of purple. But yeah, like scale color. And the other ones I don't ever really use, but I bought because I wanted to. Like metals. This Peridot Alchemy is like a gold silver. And this Necro gold. And what else did I get from their silvers? This heavy metal. I got them because like I saw them on the shelf. I'm like, ooh, if I ever do true metals, this is gonna be amazing. Oh, it's separated like a jerk. Okay. Deep Red is the gospel. Yeah, I use it a lot. I used it on her sash. But yeah, like I guess I gotta put an agitator in here. I have one. I'll just throw it in there. But like, yeah, it's I was disappointed because I wanted to use it as a substitute for like Dark Angels green. And not like as a excuse me, not as a complete replacement, but because it's not quite Dark Angels green, but I like the tone it's going for. Like it's a different, like more of a blue green than Dark Angels green. And Terry's red is so saturated. I gotta get that. I haven't tried that. I only tried their deep red. But I know I use these two for my non-metallic metal, Graphene Gray and Rainy Gray. They were, Rainy Gray was my substitute because I ran out of Vallejo's Cold Gray, and it used to be my absolute favorite. Then I tried Rainy Gray, and I can't go back to Cold Gray anymore. I hear good things about Chimera's Reds. One of my favorite content creators uses Chimera, not just Mecha. What's his name? Marco Frazzoni. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard of him. He's one of my favorites ever. I love his intro. Hello guys, welcome back to Not Just Mecha. Like, it's probably offensive to do that. But he is one of my absolute treasures. Like, I love rewatching his stuff. He got me into oil paints and like learning new ways to do things. Heard the same, haven't picked up a bottle yet. Yeah, like of Chimeras. So like, the problem I have is I don't go out much. And most of the places I do go out, I'll be lucky if I find Vallejo. You know, like most of it's gonna be GW. So like half of my collection is GW just because it's the most widely available, easiest for me to find. I'm not a fan of Army Painter. That's the other one that's available to me. Michael is the better at the painting. Yeah, Marco, he is what I aspire to be. You know, like he's just fun, and he's got it all up in his head. He's got all the knowledge. I'm just fun, I guess, hopefully. I don't have any knowledge. I'm all self-taught for the most part. But yeah, like Marco, absolute treasure. Love that guy. I rewatch his speed paint videos a lot. It's not necessarily something I do. Like I'm not a fan of speed painting because I don't paint like by regiments or whatever or by units. But the science behind it, like the ideas that he introduced to do so, while still having an instantly recognizably like unique look that's his, like incredible. And it's actually like taught in a way that's easy to emulate. So it's something I strive for, you know. Vallejo's getting hard to find in the wild with the strikes. Yeah. Olivia's head as it comes to color theory. Oh, dude, he has a... Like, when he was talking about green gold, and, like, when he talks about color theory, I kind of glaze over. Because, like, it's so antithetical to the way I taught myself. Like, I know it makes sense, and I know it's the quote-unquote right way, so to speak, like the classical way to do it. But it's so above me. Like, it's so over my head. I just go, this look good. This look cool next to this pink and blue. Crazy good. Like, I'm just simple. Like, I don't know. I just know it. Like, or at least I've tried a bunch of different ways to paint enough to figure it out, so to speak. Like, to like know how it works or what to expect, as well as like how to adjust it. But if I were to try to explain color theory, you shouldn't be quoting me. Like, I can tell you enough of how I think about it, but if it were to actually be taught, like, or like the vocabulary is what my buddy tells me. Like, I lack the vocabulary to communicate a lot of ideas. But I think my strength comes from the fact that I do lack the vocabulary helps me teach others who also lack a vocabulary. Because I know what it's like to try to get these concepts, these ideas that are nebulous. Like, art is kind of nebulous, and like so is painting, until you crack it open in your head. Like, it's hard, it's opaque. It's really tough. Your stuff is way beyond tabletop, which is vast margin. Oh, I guess. I don't know. I enjoy the painting. Like, painting as a hobby, to me, is the main part of the hobby. So I've never... Like, it's hard for me to settle for just slapping on paint. Because, like, for better or worse, it's the thing I get the most out of in the game. In any gaming. Like, all these board games and stuff, like, they just sit here for the most part. Like, I rarely ever get to put them on the table. Like, not nearly as much as I used to, at least. So to me, it's like it's what I get my money's worth out of it. Like, I it's my favorite part. Like, I don't blame anybody for wanting to have it at tabletop standard, right? Like, if I had to play, if I was really competitive in, like, say, the Warhammer scene, and I have to get them done, and, like, the main thing I'm getting out of it is the playing of the game, then of course I'm gonna be like, done, spray it. Yeah, you prefer it as well? Cool. Like, I don't know. And it's also like, being competitive, I tried to be competitive in gaming, both in Warhammer, War Machine, and in Malifaux. And it gives the potential for me to be mentally in a not so great place, right? Like, especially when you're losing and you're trying so hard to be good and try to stay on top of everything in the meta, and like just trying to table, like get top table even. Like, it's so stressful. Like, it's I don't know. So not too long ago, like a year or two ago, I decided I'm not gonna focus on that anymore. Like, if I lose, it's fine. I'm here to paint. And the game, like playing in a tournament or whatever, is an excuse for the painted models to be seen. Like a picture in a frame. Like, when people come over, you hang them up for people to see them on the walls, right? Like, for others to enjoy the pictures you like. Well, tournaments are like that. Like, now you get to see my pictures in a frame. So, like, I go to tournaments not to try to win anymore. Although, like, I'm not giving up, right? Like, when I'm in a game, I'm not like, all right, 8-0 me, good job. No, I'm trying my best, but that's not the reason I go anymore. It used to be. But ever since I made that choice for myself to, like, enjoy the hobby side of it, it's become much more enjoyable for me, and I don't become like some competitive snob anymore, or at least in my eyes. Nothing beats putting on a podcast and put on some models and vibe out. Yeah, like, that's why I play lo-fi music when I paint, because, like, it's the easiest way for me to zone out. But most of the time I have something playing on either YouTube or Netflix that coincides with what I'm painting to get me in the mood, get the juices flowing. 808 at my soul started with War Machine Mark II. And actually, when I was I enjoy being best painted versus best player. Same here. Like, when I played Warhammer, which it's known for its competitive scene being a certain way, right? Like, I would win tournaments, but, like, nothing gave me more joy than best painted. Like, best painted army, no less, that's a lot of work. The first competition I ever entered was a single model best painted for an Eldar model I made, and I spent 2 weeks on that model, which, you know, these days I think of it like that's not very much time compared to, you know, playing competitively does, because it changes you, you know, like, it changes what you get out of the game, and nothing disillusions you a little bit more than the mountain to climb to be really good competitively, which gives me a lot of respect to those who can climb that mountain, be consistently good and competitive, and still not be like an unsportsmanlike person about it. Because, like, I felt like it would eat away at me to the point where losses felt personal, right? Like, because you spend so much time trying to be good, and then somebody stomps you, and it's like, what am I doing here? But, like, with painting, you can climb those mountains, and each one is an achievement. Even the failures are an achievement. So, like, because they tell you what not to do, and also you can make fun of yourself. But, like, the playing part of it, I just wasn't getting any joy out of it. In fact, it was doing the opposite. It was taking the joy away. And it wasn't anything about the opponents or anything like that. It was just like, I felt myself change a little bit because I really wanted the win. Like, I really, really wanted it. And you almost kind of feel like, oh, I deserve it, you know? So, like, not necessarily, but something in the back of your mind feels like it. Painted a few Warhammer 40k armies, several Age of Sigmar armies, and found with the skirmish games I can actually have a fully paint. Exactly! That's why, one of the main reasons why I started Malifaux, and then I met the great community and some of my longest friends from Malifaux, is because it was a smaller scale, character focused. Like, it's about like the individual, not like a sea of nameless faces, right? Like nothing wrong with that, nothing wrong with large scale armies, but like I like knowing like Perdita has a reputation, like everybody knows it. They know this one model how it acts, or like even backstory. So like there's a lot of flavor to Malifaux too. So even within the factions, I was just talking about it in the podcast, like in the same faction of Outcast, you have completely different flavors among the keywords, and even within the keywords. So like, I don't know, I just get a lot of enjoyment out of that, and that's why you play MCP. Like, I started MCP when it first came out. I haven't painted a lot of it, so I'm getting my Marvel fix from Marvel Zombicide. But I do like the MCP models. I wish that they gave a ton of different poses and a ton of different costumes. Because if they came out with a line of Age of Apocalypse for X-Men, throw my money out at Atomic Mass Games, Like, I'm pretty sure everybody has something like that. Like, oh, if you had such and such. But, like, MCP did it when they first came out with Cable. Because Cable's my all-time favorite one. And when they came out with that model, I was like, it's true. Decision to stop Army Size Games. Malifaux popped up in my 3 choices. Yeah, their lore is insane. Like, I haven't even read it all. Like, I read all the first edition lore, and I stopped around second edition. But yeah, their lore is pretty freaking cool. Like, I remember the first edition rulebook stories, they got me going. And then, like, second edition, by the time you hit, like, some of those stories are pretty cool, too. He was so good. In fact, like, one of the ideas I had for the channel was recreating some of the lore with the miniatures. Like, you know how they have, like, Breachside Broadcast? Well, like, doing that, but in miniature storytelling form. The issue with it, though, is I gotta have a lot of models painted. So I've been slowly working on that in the background. Because I would love to do some of the storytelling with miniatures that I sort of did with, like, some of my intros. Like my intro to my Space Base one was it was really fun to make, a lot of work, and but if I could do a whole story with like that, it'd be incredible. Like, if I could, it would take a lot though. Like, I'd have to get like 6 sprues of Perdita in different poses, but I already have some storyboards worked out for how I would do it, and one day it'll get there. We'll see. Man, this is so much more fun with somebody in chat. Not gonna lie. Like, the first time I did it, well, one, I was figuring out how to do all this stuff, but if it's just me talking to myself, it's not like something I can't do, but you start to feel self-conscious if you don't have very much to talk about. So in fact, even before this one, I was like writing down different topics I could ramble on about if I was by myself on chat again. So you're kind of a lifesaver. And then it goes quiet. Oh, man. But yeah, right now I am doing some edge highlights with this gray. Just trying to accentuate the sharp, jagged areas here. A little awkward. Oops. Man, this turned out really good. If I'm chatting too much, let me... Oh, no! Not at all. I was just saying, you're saving my life here. You're giving me something to talk about. Making the stream a little bit more entertaining for folks, you know? Including yourself, but, like, anybody who watches afterward, right? Like, I don't know, like, I will admit, I don't watch a lot of streams, right? Just give a follow on the gram. Oh! I was looking at my phone to see that. Nice, I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't go on streams or like whatever too often because it's not necessarily how I generally enjoy interacting. Or I'm like a lurker, right? Like I just like to observe from like the background a lot of times, which is funny because I started a YouTube channel, which puts you in the foreground. But like for the most part, though, I just I like long form videos that I can rewatch over and over and over again and get different takes out of it. So because I don't really watch a lot of streams, I don't really know how they're supposed to go. So I just try to emulate it as much as I can, be as entertaining as I can in my own way. And yeah, I don't know if there's like certain types of etiquette or expectations of streamers or whatever, but me, I just was like, well, start with painting and then take it from there. I think Malifaux needs more game formats than GG or tournament stuff or match play. I'd love to run a tournament with all Chronicles missions. Yeah, they used to. They had like a University Transmortis. They had like story encounter ones. I just think that like what we with these different things is also like they have to follow with what actually people use. So I think they would spend like a lot of resources on making, say, story encounters or different formats, and then like there's just only the people still defaulted to playing tournament formats or GG, and so they just lean into, well, if this is what most people use, you know, because I've done a few of like they had like single player ones like University Transmortis, and I'd play it just to get some practice or like try something new, but like I can see why they wouldn't continue like putting more resources into that, because like there may be a need for it, but not a big enough one where everybody's like champing at the bit to do it. I don't know, but I think they can do more with their IP if like more board games like Puppet Wars. But I do think that they also probably like I don't know, they did a lot of other board games too. Like Death Comes Rattling or whatever, and it may not have been as strong. I know Vagrant Song was super strong because in the board game community it went pretty nuts. Like it was a good game. I haven't played it yet. But I remember seeing it on Dice Tower and people keep bringing it up. It's in their like top 10s or their top whatevers. So that's a good sign for Weird. But I think that they could be doing more. It's just, I don't know, it's crazy. Because it's also their business, their game. And I love it. I love Malifaux in terms of like what they've made, and I respect it. So I don't know, I'm no business scientist. I'm no let me see, Steve J. Paints liking stuff. I don't know. I just know like I wish I liked the other side more, because I appreciate what they were trying to do with it. I think they are leaning into it a little bit more. I think more people may be playing it, but when I played it, it was just like I really wanted to like it. I just didn't like it as much. It just made me want to play Malifaux more. Maybe that's what you could be looking for. Like, have you tried the other side or Through the Breach? Are there other connected things to the IP? Maybe that's it. I don't know. The other side I feel like has potential, but sorry, the work was sick. Oh, talking about the Instagram stuff. Appreciate it. You may see a few likes. Oh man, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. You'll never have to apologize for that. I thrive off your validation. It's what keeps me awake. It gets me up in the morning. It's like, will someone like me? But yeah, like they could be doing more. But the other thing too, like I'll talk about it with Mike on occasionally when we talk about it stuff, is they're a small company, like I mean they must be working on stuff all the time. I know that like I see online people talk about the stocking issues or whatever with the game and the stuff. I know like it's hard for me to find things sometimes. I don't know. We can't fault them too much, but at the same time, if people want more of the thing they love, it's not a bad idea to give it to them. Oh, on photo taking? So, I kind of taught myself as well. Well, I can just talk about it right now if you don't mind, or if you want. But like, so with photos, you would need to make sure that you have, with miniature photos specifically. Like, I'm no photo scientist, but I'll show you. Imagine you have your camera in front of you, right? And then you'll need two lights, strong lights, kind of going at it at 45 degrees toward. And if you want, you can get a light above, like filling in light. You can also like really you mostly need the two lights at 45 degrees, and then you can fill in whatever you want after. You want to get lights that have the color temperature on them. I put mine at 5400 Kelvin because it's close to daylight. I think daylight is 5500. But you want them pointing together, and then you would want them more bright than like super bright. And then on your camera, you lower your exposure down. Like there's other tips and tricks for cameras. Those are the ones that I learned are the main ones that were easy for me to figure out. And then you can turn your, like, say, your phone into something really nice. But yeah, it's all about light. And you don't need to have like a box or anything. You can try to work with a backdrop if you want, but those are like the easy things you could. I used to print out a piece of paper with like a backdrop, and that was my backdrop. But the main things are two lights at like 45 degrees, real close, flooding the scene, and then lower your exposure on your camera. Am I using a camera or a phone? I'm using a camera on this. It's a Sony RX107. It's like a small point and shoot camera. And then you can see my setup too here is two lights on the side, one light in the front. It's not in a box or anything. But yeah. I mean, you can use your phone, like the new phones that are out now, they're insanely good. Holy crap. I think I might be pretty much done. I'm going to let it dry before painting the base rim. I think I'm just going to leave it as is. But yeah, like for the webcam, this one right here that's facing me, it is a Elgato face cam. But I've seen people who stream or take photos of their minis and stuff with their regular phone. The only thing that you gotta be cognizant of is the lighting. Like, bunch of light. Like, the way I taught myself when I was reading online on different ways, it's like, all right, just ton of lights, like super bright, and then lower your exposure. Like, you can always lower the exposure on your camera if it's too bright. Or if it's like you're outside and it's an ND filter to lower the exposure. But, you know, that's the easy, dumb ways. Like, you'd rather have too much light than not enough. You can take away light. It's hard to add it if you don't have enough. So, yeah, like, that's the way I think of it. And I'm not a professional light scientist or anything like that. I just kind of figured it out with trial and error as well. But I ended up, when I figured it out, I bought a bunch of lights. And now I have, like, 4 of these big LED lights as my main lights, and then I have this small Elgato light and another face Elgato light, which I should have gotten 2 so that I can have 45 degrees on myself so that I wouldn't have so much glare on my glasses. But then again, I don't care that much. But yeah, like the rim lighting here and behind me, which I put in the wrong place. Yeah, I use those lights for my photography as well. But I still am figuring stuff out. Like, I see other people who take pictures and video of theirs, and I'm like, how did you do that? So pretty much every other day or every day, I'm looking up something else about cameras and photography and stuff and trying to figure out more. Like, just earlier today, I found a post on Reddit that I saved that I'm going to study up on that was talking about f-stops and stuff that just made a lot more sense to me than what I've read in other places. Just look it all up and you'll figure it out. I think I'm gonna take this bad boy out, a little holder, and get some black ready to paint the base. I also need to stop being lazy when I take my photos. I usually take a quick pic after the varnish is dried, model in hand. Hey, I've done that too. In fact, I think I've done that. I usually do that just so I can save it on my phone, because setting up everything is kind of a pain. Let me see. Yeah, I take photos of my models, just simple ones. But whenever I want to, like, I have to take some pictures of like this Marvel Zombicide and some other Army of the Dead stuff I painted, so that I can update my Instagram, because I keep forgetting about updating it, because my main platform is YouTube, like what I spend the most amount of time on and what I want to focus on. Like, I don't quite understand Instagram yet. I mean, I just follow a lot of people and look at miniatures and stuff on there, but I don't know how you're supposed to like kind of grow or get your stuff seen. So I just kind of like randomly posting photos on Instagram, but like I'm trying to make it coincide with what I put on the YouTubes. All right, so I've got some black. I'm gonna throw this mat here because what I tend to do when I paint these base rings is they tend to have black on the bottom, and so I don't want to mess up my mat more than I already have, so I'm just gonna put it on the mat to dry when it's done. Get it nice and thin. Oh, I'm not even showing it. Not like super thin, but thinner than I usually do. One of the ways I tell if it's thin enough is, does it run back in whenever I move it? Like, does it pull back in toward itself? And it is. Now let's start painting. Oh god, I messed that up. Let me wipe some of this off. Fix that. Went a little too fast there. Man, I'm messing that up. Mostly lurk. I'll read that in a second. Let me get this all painted up. Oh, I forgot I was gonna throw in some reds and greens, but actually, nah, not gonna. Oh no, I messed that up too. No one will know. No one will know. You tell anyone. Okay. That's enough messing around there. Mostly lurk, rarely post on the gram, look at minis, get some inspo, occasionally post. Yeah, I was using Pinterest for that for a while, for inspiration. Apparently people are like, you still use Pinterest? And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, it's cool. I'm a cool guy. I just still like MySpace. For the base rim painting, I use cork topper with poster tack. That way I don't have to touch the model at all. Usually I have the same thing too, but so because I have to use I don't even know where I just put it. Okay, because I have to use this GW one, I have to use it like the corners get touched, so I can't get it all away. I have to use the GW one because I put magnets on the bottom of mine that are the exact size of the base. So I don't want to use poster tack because then the sticky parts get stuck on the magnet, and I guess I'm type A like that. I don't want it to like lose its shine. But normally I have, like, for my Malifaux stuff, anything that's on where I build the base, like on a 30 mil, I have these things called Cobalt Keep, COBALT space KEEP. They make these bases that the magnets go in them. They come with their own magnets, so it's a little coin magnet, and then they have like a cross. So then they have their own standy thing, like a handle that it snaps to, and it's like incredible. In fact, I'm gonna get it. Okay. So, oh, I just touched it. Oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. Anyways, let's hope I didn't touch the model. This is Cobalt Keep. I wish they had a label on it. So, it's a model on a handle that can come off the little stand, so that when I'm ready to paint, I can just hold on to it. And then this is the base that it comes with. So it says Cobalt Keep right there, KEEP. But like the magnet goes in there, and because it's got this little cross section, just goes right on here. Man, they should just sponsor me. But like when I first saw these, I was like, this is the way to go. Like, this is my favorite base system. Simple, cheap, like genius. Oh, no, don't worry. Distraction on the P handles. No, I was just dumb because like I just picked this up as if it was nothing. And it is not nothing. It is trying. Yeah, I know, it's so amazing. Like, I don't know. I think I got maybe 10 of them. And it's more than I need, honestly, because I don't paint 10 models at a time, but I wanted to support the creator because I think it was on a Kickstarter at first. And they're probably not like a big company or anything, so I wanted to show my support for things that I really enjoy. And anytime I can show it off, I try to. Like when I tell people about it, it's my favorite base and handle system. And they make a whole bunch of different ones now. I think they make like big ones for bigger hands. These ones are tiny. I like them smaller. I used to use like a tiny little paint pot as my handle. I don't want a big grip handle thingy. I just want something small. Usually I want it the same width of the base, but sometimes I like it a little smaller. Like if it's a 50 mil, I don't mind if it's smaller. But yeah, it's my absolute favorite basing system. And they make them in 30 mils. They make them in the Warhammer scale ones. I think it's like 32 mils and whatnot. All kinds. Check it out, Cobalt Keep. And then if they're seeing this, or if they ever get to see this, email me, bro, or DM me on Instagram. I don't know how this works. But yeah, good stuff. Fancy. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, okay, so Psylocke's drying, right? I have her in front of the fan now. So if she's drying, I'm going to take a look at that base and see what else I can do to make it more interesting. Maybe some reds and greens. It's looking a little monotonous. But then again, so does Captain America's. And so does Winter Soldier's. So maybe I just leave it alone. And, I mean, it is a board game, right? Like, with, like, 1,000 minis. So, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna... I think it's good enough. You know, you don't want to mess with greatness. So I'll let that dry. But, man, I love talking about, like, hobby finds. You know, like, things that make your hobby easier. Like, we all have our little best kept secrets, right? Of like, oh, this works for me. Like how you were talking about how you treat the toppers. I didn't even think about just snipping off the whole top. I was just poking a hole with a toothpick or a dental pick. So like, I think we always have like a bunch of tips we can help each other with when it comes to that stuff. Like, what was it? One that I loved are these little paint shakers. Where is it? This? They're like little bottle medical shakers. It's been one of the best purchases I ever made in my life. That way I don't have to like shake my arms off. And especially when your paint is settling at the bottom of the bottle, it like really gets at it. So once you start using it, if you use it with all your paints as soon as you get your paints, then they won't go bad nearly as much. Snip a lot of glue. Hell, I got some glue right over it. Yeah, that's your secret. Pigments. I have like a whole hobby cart here. Like, full of like all my most used tools. There with you. Yeah, like, and then I organize them by bin. Like, this is like my silly putty bin. I use a lot of silly putty for masking and airbrush. Nail polish shaker. I don't know if it's a nail polish shaker. I think it was like I know tattoo artists use them for their bottles. I think it's for medical, like, vials? I don't know. Alchemy? But that one's one of my favorites. This hobby cart's been super helpful. Glue fumes are the secret to painting. Bought one under the guise that my wife would use it for nail polish. Yeah, like, I use, I can't show it now, it's on my shelf, but I have, nail polish holders. Like, they're like a plastic acrylic you can get on Amazon for like $30. And they hold all my other paints that I don't use nearly as often. Savage. Oh, yeah? Like, you... It's like, oh, this is a gift for you, for me. But, like, this paint, this is what I call my mobile station of paints. Like, my most often used paints I throw in here, and that way if I want to paint with my wife out in the living room or in the kitchen or whatever, I just take the mobile station. But like, all my other paints are on my shelf. I may not use them all the time, but I like having them as an option out on display for me to just pick if I'm like, oh, where's that one weird olive I never used? Or like all of my secret weapon miniature washes I rarely ever use. Like, I bought the whole set and I ended up not really using them that much. But like, I have a ton of like airbrush paints that like I don't really use often. So I keep them all over there because I don't really need to see them all the time. But these paints, like 90% of them I'm using all the time. The other 10% are paints that I'm like, I want to throw them into circulation at some point. Just like this boreal green. It's like, I want to use it. I'll figure out when, and when it happens, it's in my mobile station available. Use tattoo bottles for water on hand with a second... Oh, you mean this? I don't know if this is what you mean, but I use this to replenish my waters in my wet palette. Because right now it's a... Yeah, rip secret weapon. I think one of my favorite content creators, Lester Bursley, a long time ago. He used to make. He made a Malifaux painting video once for the Avatar of Seamus back when you had avatars, and he was one of the first YouTube painters I followed. He went to work for Secret Weapon, I think, and then they're gone. And you know what's the worst part? Well, like, not the worst part, but now I feel bad because I just mentioned Lester Bursley. Worst part is that Secret Weapon is no more, but when I made the LED video, I mentioned that I used crushed glass. Water on hand from a webpack. Exactly what you mean. Okay. So, like, I used their crushed glass, and I used it for water effects. Yeah, good old Lester. Okay, so you know Lester Bursley. So I used to make his wash recipe from his video. But I used to also get their crushed glass for water effects. It's like the best thing ever. And I always assumed that you can just get crushed glass like that wherever you want. So when I made the LED video, somebody was like, hey, I can't find any of that crushed glass you're talking about. And I was like, oh, Secret Weapon's out of business. I forgot about that. Let me just find a substitute for you. Nope, can't find one like that. Like, I have yet to find another set of crushed glass that was like teeny tiny, like the stuff from Secret Weapon miniatures. So thankfully, I bought 2 bottles of it. Like one time, I think I might have accidentally ordered one when I didn't need it. Now I need it. It's like gold. I'm gonna have to choose very carefully when I use that for projects, just like how for the longest time, for like a decade, I had to choose very carefully how I used chestnut ink because they stopped making the GW inks. And then Citadel Armory or whatever it is, Citadel Colors, they re-released them in some other company. I don't know what it's called. But still, like, man, it's a shame because like our entire kind of hobby revolves around these cottage industries. And it's a shame when they can't make it like outside of like a few years, because I mean, we kind of need that. Yeah, I had a ton of Secret Weapon bases, all their paints, like their washes. Like, they were one of my favorite companies to get things. I wanted their tablescapes for so long. Like those little tiles, or not little, those giant tiles. Like, they were doing stuff that I really wanted and I really loved seeing in the industry, in the community. But it's unfortunate that they went out. And it's like a lot of games companies, like board game companies, sometimes for bad practices, like what is it, Ninja Division or Soda Pop Miniatures, Mythic I think was the other one, which I have a bunch of games from Mythic. And I hate to see it happen, but I mean, I'm no business doctor. I don't know what the expectation is, or the explanation, or how to solve it, but I guess my rare on-a-table product would be Citadel's Waywatcher Green Glaze. I forgot! Yeah, I have the blue and the purple and the yellow glaze. They stopped making the glazes, and I loved those glazes. I don't think I have the green. No, I think I might have the green one. Those glazes were really well made. But yeah, they didn't pan out, I guess. They didn't make them for very long. Man. I think I used my yellow or the blue one for a long time. But now that I know how to actually make glazes, it's not nearly as bad. But the other thing too is they had a consistency that I didn't have to mess with. Like, I liked it. Like, I just add a tiny little bit of water and it was perfect. But then they made, like, it is weird that they made, like, a yellow glaze. Like, it would take forever. Like, unless you were treating it like a wash, it would take forever to build up that yellow. But, like, yeah, it's a shame for companies like Secret Weapon to go out. And it's, like, a shame, too, that, like, with the strike for Vallejo, not being able to get it, but I understand and you know, support workers' rights. So, like, we just have such a small industry that it hurts whenever anything happens. Like when somebody goes out of business, it just sucks. Ordered a few bottles of it when found out GW Citadel was ceasing them, and now they sell for 40-ish. Who's gonna buy that? Crazy sauce. I mean, I get it, but for me, it's like, oh, that's a shame, but I'll figure out how to recreate it, I guess. Like, it's like whenever they switched their colors, I used to paint with dwarf flesh and elf flesh. Then when they changed their range after they got into like foundation paints, which is another Bygone product, I was like, all right, I guess I gotta find another combination. And it sucks because the other day I ran across one of my old models that I painted with dwarf flesh and elf flesh, and I was like, damn, I missed that. I missed that warmth, and like that. It was a really cool color combo to me. They were instrumental in your Necron scheme. Did some looking into crushed glass. You might find some looking for frit useful. I know, I heard of frit. So, comes in different colors and consistency. Fine and white. Okay. You win the internet today. Because, holy crap. Rip dwarf elf flesh. But, dude, thanks for the tips, because I need to look that up, because I planned on using a lot of crushed glass in my next few projects, but then I axed them because I didn't want to use them all. Right there with chestnut ink. You want to see something funny? Secret. I keep it safe. Chestnut ink. For very special occasions, you bust it out. I'm just weird like that. I don't know. But I mean, it is a octagon bottle. It hits, you know. And like, I forgot, I think I was on the podcast Students of Conflict, and we were talking about painting, and I was talking about how back in the day the starter sets, or like their entire paint range was like 12 paints for a while, right? Like, not really 12, but it was very limited, and you just had to figure all that stuff out. And they're like, here are inks, have at it. You protect it with your life. Exactly. But like now you've got like you've got want for choice. Like, here we are talking about the differences between lines of like Vallejo, Scale 75, Chimera. Not too long ago. Well, I mean, I guess count the tree rings. It was a long time ago. Like when I started, it wasn't very much competition. You had GW, or you went to Walmart and got testers or something. You know, like, you didn't know the difference. So yeah, it's good to see the industry grow in that aspect. And that's why, like, when I mentioned earlier about like Secret Weapon going down, it's like, that's why it hurts, because it feels like when a company goes down or like out, it's like 12 steps back, right? Like, because it took so much to even get that going. Are you almost dry here? We're dry here. Look at that bad boy. Like it. Differences. What is it? Protect your life. 12 paints and a drain. That's all you needed. My guy. Differences between finishes. We did not have to. We did not used to have that selection. No, for sure. Like, now we're spoiled. Boot testers. No, I tried it once with like model cars, and I was like, I don't get how this works. And then they had those terrible brushes. Yeah, it was. Ugh. But like, you know, it's a good way to learn, though, like to brute force your way with only like 12 paints. And it certainly taught me how to mix. Like, not taught, I guess. It forced me at one point, when I couldn't get like the exact color I wanted. I was painting my War Machine Troll Bloods, and I was like, I want it to go from blue to lighter blue, but I don't want it to go like white blue. So that's when I learned to mix my grays in with blue to like bring it up, and then I turned it into a fleshy tone. It was a cool little mix, cool little experiment, I guess. And then I know a long time ago, my first time ever mixing colors was back when GW first released the Plastic Ogres as a Warhammer Fantasy faction. They had an article about like mixing bottles of paint together, like pouring them into one another at like different measurements, like a quarter of a bottle, and you would come out with ogre mixes. And so me and my buddy Derek were outside mixing up bottles, like, all right, we have one empty bottle and we're marking each of these like in 4, and then pour here. We threw a rock in it as the agitator because we didn't have agitators. And then I had my mixes for all my ogres, and I can't, to this day, I can't tell you what specifically. Well, I can, I guess, if I go back there and get my white dwarf, but for the most part, I'm like, that was like, I had to have somebody else teach me or tell me what to do to mix colors to get what I wanted out of them. And then eventually I just started doing like what you saw here earlier, where I'm like, hey, what does gray and brown do? You know, like this kind of looks gray and brown. What's it gonna do here? And it works out all right. I think it's, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm a bright color guy, not so much a dark color guy. Browns and stuff like that, they throw me for a loop. But I think this thing turned out pretty nice. I like how the object source lighting turned out from, man, this is the first time I'm actually really looking at it. Oh man, look at that butt. But yeah, that looks, especially when you look at a specific angle, like, because I get to present with you a specific angle. It's like, don't look at her here, don't look at her here. Oh, she's beautiful here, yeah. Looks cool. Oh, you know what? I didn't do it on the rock. Oh, man. We're not done yet, guys. We're not done. Dang it. Here I was thinking we were done. Rock is a good agitator. Back in the 2000s, the aughts, a friend bought a bunch of copper-clad BBs to use, which corroded and ruined all. Yeah, I heard about copper doing that. Oh, so it looks clean. Thanks. Here we are. Let's get some of this magenta. Magenta. Alright, so then I gotta get it on the tip of this rock here. So we're going to I should just do a whole stream where I don't know why I was thinking of this. I should just do a whole stream where I'm just Marco. I am Marco from Not Just Mecha. Hello guys! Welcome back to Not Just Mecha. Today we are using magenta. Saturated we like our like we like his colors. Tuesday, yeah, that's what I'm gonna plan on doing, is stream on Tuesdays. That's when I was like, all right, I guess I can do it around that time. You know, I'm gonna try to do it at least once a week on Tuesdays. Typical, yeah. That's what I'm aiming for. So I've been sticking to it, you know, so far. Let's see, how else can I do this? All right. Now let's get the one with the glaze in it and start throwing it on there. This is my kind of jams. It was like 85% good lo-fi, 15%. What is this? Why is it techno? That's not lo-fi. That's what happens when you gamble on a playlist 30 minutes before live. But we'll do it live. Oh, prep for Daredevil. Is that tonight? Oh, is that tonight? Is it coming out tonight? Because I might be leaving you guys. I'm hanging. Steve Jones. Tell me, is it tonight? No, you gotta tell me. Is Daredevil tonight? I guess I can just find out. But yeah, hey man, thank you for sticking around. Made it a lot better than the first day of streaming. It's not that it was bad, it was just, it's nice to have folks to talk to. But you have yourself a good one. I'll see you next week. Yes, I will be streaming weekly on Tuesdays. Bar any emergencies or stuff like that. Tonight in 30 minutes-ish. Alright guys, we're gonna end the stream in about 25 minutes. Lo-fi is a sub... Shut up, Mike! You're a subgenre. Of the hippity hop. That's what the subgenre of. Okay, I think that should work. I don't know, maybe more. You know when it's enough? When it's too much. That's when you know it's enough. Yeah. I appreciate it. No, I'm gonna keep doing it. It's also fun, and it's gonna keep me accountable. It's gonna keep me painting. Like, that's the main thing, is like, I actually want to get some stuff done, so I'm gonna hold myself accountable to painting on a schedule. Maybe I'll add in another day. Who knows? Days like today, streaming like today, folks like you, makes it where I'm like, oh, I want to just do this every day now. But yeah, like, that right there is a... I don't know, is she finished? Should I add reds and greens to the ground? I think the ground's fine. You know, folks, when we look at our reference photo, we see that it's just these two colors. It can just be these two colors. Because I don't know what else to do. Like, I could add more to the Sentinel finger, but I actually really liked how that turned out, so I'm gonna leave that alone. Nah, I think we're good. I think she is solid. Cool. Well, that leaves me with only one more thing. Out of these, so I got Cap, I got Psylocke, I've got Winter Soldier, and I got Hawkeye I'm working on. Out of these four, what would you want to see on stream next? Wolverine, Iron Man, Cyclops, or Rouge? Rogue. Out of those four, I don't know. I was thinking, like, probably anybody but Cyclops, because I just painted a lot of blue. And I want to paint him dark blue. So maybe he's out of the mix. But Iron Man, Wolverine, or Rogue? You know what? This makes me think. Can I make a poll? Rogue, okay. Okay, you said it. I was like, I'm gonna look up. Oh, that's two rogues. So yeah, I mean, I was gonna be like, how do I make a poll on here? I know that you can make a poll. Let's see. Yeah, okay, I figured it out. But since we already got two rogues, I guess the poll is started. Man, so this is actually going to be testing me a lot. on greens and browns. So I hate you. I'm gonna have to paint brown, green, not only brown, all right? So like not only just brown, but it's like multiple browns. It's got her brown and white hair, which I can do the white. Then you got her leather jacket, which I think is all brown. And I think her boots, I can't remember. But yeah, I hate you. Now that I should have just left her out of the mix. All right, so next we'll paint Rogue. I will study up on brown. Green, I'm all right with. Oh, and yellow. I think there's a lot of yellow in it. So not only that, we got a forest floor. So that's another version of brown. Y'all hate me. I should have just been like, nope, next one, it's Iron Man. It's Iron Man. It's colors I know. Well, I guess you guys will all be seeing me learn a thing or two on stream next week. We will get that knocked out. And on that note, I appreciate everybody showing up. Let's switch it over to the sexy cam. That's me. I'm sexy. I appreciate everybody coming over, taking time to watch the stream, making things fun, saying stuff, typing words, learning things. We learned a valuable lesson today, that you're the worst for making me choose Rogue. But tune in for next week, 4 p.m. Central. I will be streaming, and I will try to do my best to be entertaining and get things taken care of. Hopefully paint her in a quick fashion. But you guys have yourself a great night. Enjoy watching Daredevil. I'll be watching that. Can do a nighttime woodland. Ooh, I like that idea. I'm gonna study up on this. All right, folks, enjoy that Daredevil preview. Have yourself a good night. Keep slinging paint, my friends.